Okay, we've got 9 characters here. So how about I'll do 5 and you do the other 4.
Sure.
Right, Steve. Harry Anderson. Vriska. Oh, narrator. Oh boy. And finally... Hang on. There we go. Okay. And Aradia again. Okay.
Oh. Wanted to do a Radia.
Sorry. Maybe
Sorry.
next recording. But
No,
you
it's
get
alright.
to do all of these characters. Hang on.
Daria.
Yeah, I kind of messed it up a bit. I think you get you probably get the idea. Probably. No, hang on. That messed up something.
No.
Oh, it did it twice for some reason.
Yeah, you did it twice.
Let me just there we go. Okay.
Ah, there we go.
Alright. Alright, I'm doing it. Okay. John stares at his phone for a while. Thumb presses to space just below the send message button. He realizes he's not dwelling so much on the content he's hesitating to send, which, now that he's looking at, seems no less vapid than anything else he's had to bother Terezi with online, as he is on the nature of this correspondence they have, and his peculiar semi-annual need to bother her in this way at all. What is this relationship they have, he wonders. Does he even care that much? Does she? But if he doesn't care that much and there's nothing to it, then why does he do it? Why does he seem to put the care into the nonsense he badgers her with? He supposes he could ask the same of many features of his life. Why does he care? Why does he put the time in? When he can't shake the feeling that nothing here has much intrinsic meaning, or rings as canon, to drop a term he has to admit is one up some welcome in his vocabulary, how does one justify even leaving the house? He thought he was over this, that he got its moping out of the system in those first few years on Earth-C and then started getting his life on track. He got married, he had a kid. That fixes everything, right? He wonders if his intermittent check-ins with Terezi have less to do with her personally and more to do with gravitating towards someone who's still out there. Someone who can still lay credible claim to functioning as an agent of relevance. A person who hasn't entirely forfeited their volitional integrity yet, like a guy with a wife and kid. Not a bad joke he just told himself, he has to admit, but it's not satisfying because it's probably not the answer. The truth is, he thinks he just keeps texting Terezi because she's the only one who knows she's the only one he knows who isn't here. There we go. John drifts aimlessly through the atmosphere for hours, thinking, but not thinking. The forest below grows thin, alien. He floats past the border of the Troll Kingdom where the grass starts to get sparse and grey, and sets down in a quarry surrounded by bare, thorny bushes. Instead of flowers, they're sprouting throbbing yellow pustules. John touches the branch and one of the pustules bursts, leaving mustard-coloured slime everywhere. How could he be homesick for a place like this, John wonders. Then he remembers Terezi once told him about the place she grew up in. A quiet forest of blueberry and cotton candy. A canopy so dense she had to walk minutes from her house to be exposed to the sun. Even Alternia had beauty in it. But John is sure that Earth-C probably replicates it in the same way it replicates everything else. Thin and garish and fake as he fake. A bad photocopy with the ink settings turned to high contrast. A sunrise that casts no shadows. He's been contemplating this melodramatically for maybe 10 minutes when the sky rips open above him and flashes violent waves of red and green across the landscape. Having dead trolls deposited from the sky like this is far from unusual these days. What comes plummeting out of the rips in space above this time isn't troll-shaped at all. It looks more like a meteor, a flash of metal and fire screaming toward the planet, trailing thick black smoke behind it. It outpaces the flames for a moment, and John recognizes it. It can't be. There's no way. And yet, there's no mistaking it. It's his father's car. A whole ton of white metal oxidizing in the heat. The windows all smash open. If anyone's in there, he can't make them out. John feels like he watches the car descend and crash against the earth in slow motion. It hits the ground with an impact that reverberates for miles. He's never moved so fast as he does to reach a crater. He skids to a stop at the rim. Below, the car is twisted and steaming, curled into horrible, jagged edges, but the back half is mostly intact. He sends a thrust of wind through the back of the carriage to blow both doors off and crawls inside to examine the seats, just to make absolutely certain no one was in it when it was crashed. The best of the frame is still so hot that the air around it is sizzling, but John doesn't care. The back seat is a mess. It's smeared with shaving cream with little bits of something strewed about. He pinches some of the dry, brown, flaky substance and sniffs it. Is this tobacco? Mingling with the shaving cream, there are red bloodstains, but no flesh or bones or anything signifying the remains of a person. John puts a hand to his chest and sighs with relief, disappointment. He has no idea what he was hoping to find in here. Not his father, right? That would be stupid. Who needs to put eyes on their own father's corpse twice in one lifetime? But then he sees it. A streak of teal smudged along the top ridge of the seat cushion at the center of a red, bloody handprint. With wide eyes, John reaches out and runs his thumb over it. It chips under his nail, the same consistency as human blood, the same color as Terezi's text. He rubs a flaky crust between his fingers. He only stopped talking to her a few hours ago. Time passes differently up there, as he's often reminded. She was so sure she was dying. Was this it? Was this how she... John reels back, nausea striking him in the pit of his stomach. What kind of twisted coincidence is this? Why is he finding this now? If Terezi was here, why? Who was she reading with in the back of his father's car? It finally hits him. Not that he hasn't seen Terezi in years or that he's never going to see her again. It's that he never was going to see her again. It was over before it began. John's body is drenched in sweat. He staggers away from the mangled car, his eyes stinging from the heat. He rips his glasses off and looks at the sky, an unfocused and unspecific field of colour and possibility. It looks like a flat canvas to him, yet behind its flatness he knows it stretches back through an infinite expanse of pointlessness, a limitless field of uncaring. It seems to mock him. He points his eyes at the sympathetic dirt instead. The soft earth seems to beckon him, and he finds himself sinking to his knees, fingers digging into the disrupted soil. It's still warm, humming with energy from the car's meteoric fall. The sight of his arms stretched out in front of him warps his blurry field vision, bending and shimmering in the dying light. John realizes he's crying when the first wet droplets fall onto the backs of his hands. They mingle with the dirt around him, turning the comforting earth to sticky mud. He doesn't get it, and he never has. A choked sob forces its way out of his chest. His fingers flex into claws, gathering up dirt into his shaking fists. He bears down until his knuckles turn white and his fingernails press sharply into the flesh of his palms. The pain makes him feel real. All he's ever wanted is to be fucking real. Then, as if not quite finished with the sky just yet, he turns his gaze upwards to give it one last angry look. He feels consumed in that moment by the acuteness of his physicality and the overwhelming scale of his cosmic irrelevance. His lungs fill with air, and he releases all his years of pent-up frustration and anger and guilt and doubt and weakness and pain and misery in a blood-curdling shout that sounds more like it's from the mouth of an animal than a man. John screams at the merciless sky until his throat is raw and he has no energy left even to cry. No one hears him, and if they had, it wouldn't matter. 10 years have gone by. 2 minutes before midnight, a teenage boy crosses beneath the neon lights of the trollish slums, stepping quick and sure-footed atop the cracked pavement, as if this is the path he's walked many times. He's got a coat 2 sizes too big, and a brimmed hat pulled down to hide his distinctive bucktooth grin. Above him, Jane Crockett's face beams out from a holographic propaganda display, reminding the populace that curfew is in 15 minutes. The boy would like to say that he's too cool and daring to care about curfew, but the sound of Jane's cloying, pre-recorded voice rising above the noisy street sends an involuntary shiver down his spine. Luckily, the girl he's come to meet does not suffer from the same instinctive chain-based anxiety. She doesn't have many fears or inhibitions at all. About a block from where they usually meet, she swings us an alleyway and yanks him in by his elbow. He lets loose a shrill, unmasculine noise rising to her mouth before she shuts him up with a kiss. After a few minutes of extremely novice make-out action, Harry Anderson and Vriska pass, both wet-mouthed and short of breath. Harry Anderson wipes a bit of blood off of his bottom lip. Vriska pokes him in the chest and hisses. What took you so long? Hey, give me a break here, Vriss. My auntie has guards breathing down my neck day and night. How'd you get out this time? Harry Anderson rolls his eyes. He has beautiful eyes. He's a pretty successful combination of his parents' genes, all things considered. He's got his father's infectious grin, his mother's long eyelashes, and his auntie's unusually blue eyes. Fucking Gamzee. He was all like, yo, Harry, my dog, you go out and get yourself up a slice of that prime beef brisket, my one true homie. Love is what makes the motherfucking earth spin on its axis. That's and being politically neutral, brother. Vriska doubles over laughing at Harry Anderson's impressively spot-on imitation of Gamzee's mulish lilt and vaguely lewd posture. Harry Anderson starts giggling too. He can't help it. She's so pretty and her laugh is both cruel and infectious. God, he always makes sure to point out these politically neutral in literally every sentence that comes out of his mouth, even though he's definitely still fucking my aunts. Ugh, so lame. This is all so lame. All in all, such a deeply unsatisfactory state of affairs. Yeah, I hate sneaking around like this. I wish I could see you every day. Or even, like, tell my mum that I have a girlfriend so she can stop pestering me about it. Vriska hooks 2 fingers on the hem of Harry Anderson's shirt and reels him in close. In that case, why don't we run away and join the rebellion together, Harry Anderson? Wouldn't that be terribly romantic? We could be wild rebels in love, like Karkas and Mina. Isn't their story great? I get so inspired thinking about it. Oh, I don't know if I could pull that off, Vriska. I don't really have the, rebellious stature of someone like Karkat Vantus. He's extremely short in real life, I don't know if that's actually true. I think it might just be something people assume because of, his personality. Like he's overcompensating or something. I mean, I don't remember him being that short. Oh yeah? The last time you saw him was, you were like 3 years old. Get real, Harry Anderson. Oh, and when's the last time you saw him? Vriska shoves Harry Anderson. Not playfully. He hits Briggs behind him with a soft oof, and then keeps laughing. Oh my god, Vriska, you always talk so big, but you're not any more of a rebel than I am. Oh, shut up. You don't know shit, Harry. My mum's are totally gonna get me a prime commission in resistance when I turn 16. Yeah, whatever you say. It's true. But until then, guess we'll never know whether it's an official fact that Karkas is short or not. I guess so. But anyway, I wasn't talking about his height. I was talking about the eye patch. I mean, I believe in troll rights and everything. I should hope so. But not enough to lose an eye over it. Vriska snorts at him condescendingly. Don't be ridiculous, Harry. She pushes him up against the wall again and kisses him hard. If we really do end up absconding from our mediocre hot scene lives to become rebels, then obviously I'm going to be the one with the extremely dashing and sexy eye patch. It's getting pretty bad down there.
Who cares? This is officially something we don't care about, right?
I don't know, is it?
This world is inconsequential.
Inconsequential.
Okay. This world is inconsequential.
Well, there you have it. Aradia lies with her chin in her palms and looks over the edge of the meteor station. Under the shade of night, the cities of the Troll Kingdom form a twinkling filigree over the rocky landscape below, 100 rivers of gossamer lights in all the colours of the humour spectrum. Jane's fleet is so massive that it blots out the lights of the capital. Is this what Alternia look like from the sky as well? Aradia lived far from the city, and all that seems long ago anyway. Solix comes to stand by her, popping open a can of fizzy drink. Karkat's really going to fight that war, isn't he?
Yeah, I didn't think he had it in him, but apparently all it takes for him to become the hero he was meant to be for was was for things to get extremely fucking stupid, like way more stupid than usual.
Yes, it really is too bad he's reached his heroic apotheosis of his in a world that doesn't matter.
Please do not mistake the essence of my words for indi- interference. Indifference, sorry. When I said that this world was inconsequential,
Inconsequential, yeah.
yeah, whatever that word is, it was talking objectively. We've moved far beyond the realms of canon relevance, but on a subjective level, we can view this world as a glass bubble, fragile, solidar, solid, solitary. Sorry, with a surface uncracked. The actions, struggles, and feelings of its inhabitants are certainly not that word to them
Inconsequential.
inconsequential, while abstracted heavily and fully freed from all the forces of narrative gravity. These events still represent possibilities that slip within the heart of all who resides in here.
Solix tosses a radio a can of fizzy drink. She catches it without looking, cracks it open, and takes a long, refreshing sip of the hissing liquid. In that case, I guess we should keep watching. On Earthsea, months go by at a breakneck pace. Teens fall in and out of love and hate, alliances change, revolutions fully germinate, wars commence. And somewhere within that mess, John Egberts is the best man at Jade and Day's wedding. It lasts nearly 2 hours before he gets a ruinous case of the sniffles. The event is being held semi-clandestinely semi-clandestinely in the mansion of one of Jake's wealthy television exec friends, stages a reunion party for whichever one of his old stupid television shows people get nostalgic about these days. It's a smokescreen meant to throw that human governments are the sense of political radicals like Rose and Kanaya partying just 20 miles from the seats of power. Jake claims there's no way they'll find them, but John sometimes gets a feeling that the whole planet's bugged. After nearly 10 years of unfettered monetary interference in the upper echelons of the global head, that word, could something like this possibly fly under Jane's radar? It can't, right? John likes to think she's not so far gone that she'd tip off the government to send troops to arrest her friends and family on the occasion of her ecto-daughter's wedding. So he smiles his way through his best man duties and smiles his way again through the gallows humor speech Rose gives at dinner, blacklit by the flames of the Imperial drone factories churning away on the horizon. He wears a possibly genuine expression for a few moments as he dips down to give Jade a kiss on the forehead. She looks beautiful in her dress, and Jade doesn't look especially uncomfortable beside her. There is still joy to be found in the eve of a war, Rose says in the speech, but John found precious little to be happy about in this world even before everything went in the fucking chain. He's conspicuously unaccompanied. Not alone, of course. He's been put in an honoured seat at the head of the wedding party with Jade to his left and Rose to his right. But Jade's with Dave and Rose is Kanaya and their daughter, and everyone knows that John has lost his family to Jane Crocker. Well, not literally to Jane Crocker. What drove Roxy away was him being depressed and just an all-around huge wet blanket who was impossible to live with. John is totally ready to own the fact that he was a bad husband, but maybe not the fact that he was a bad enough husband to drive his wife to passively support a brewing genocidal dictatorship. She looks happier though, whenever he's caught sight of her behind Jane. Calliope faithfully at her side, in any of the propaganda broadcasts that Jane passes off it as business press conferences. By the time Roxy finally cut things off between them, he hadn't personally seen her smile in years. John has no idea how Harry Anderson is doing, but he definitely caught Vriska texting him under the table when he got up to get another flute of champagne. She's texting Taros in another window too, which is weird, but probably not as weird. Probably not as weird as John craning his neck to read messages over a teenage girl's shoulder. The idea that Rose's shitty daughter has more contact with his son than he does makes his eyes start to itch. He wanders out onto the ballroom balcony so that no one else has to see him cry for a second time tonight. It's a balmy evening, and John can smell the oil burning at the forge across the harbour. There's something else occupying the balcony already, and it's not one of the party guests. A shadow standing with its back to the ocean, arms crossed, gaze fixed firmly on the ballroom windows. John takes a step forward and immediately recognizes Karkat's nubby horns and distinctive shoulder hunch, of course. John snorts back his tears and jauns forward with a haughty wave. Karkat blinks and looks up, startled out of his thoughts. He's grown gaunt since John last saw him in real life. In his Solternian military fatigues and his admittedly bitching eye patch, he looks almost imposing. Kind of dashing, actually. When he opens his mouth, however, he's just the same old Karkat.
Hi again, idiot. What are you doing standing out here alone like a creep?
Karkat's frown gets deeper, and he picks at the red cording that runs down the breastplate of his uniform.
Really shouldn't be. Why not? You're on the guest list. Oh, I didn't know. Maybe think about it for 10 seconds, John.
John chews his lip and thinks about it for 10 seconds.
I guess it would probably be pretty hard to watch if you were still, heartbroken about it. I wouldn't say that I was still all heartbroken about it, but.
John joins him at railing and bumps his shoulder. Karkat groans and runs a hand down his face, obviously still a little all heartbroken about it.
It's just that breakups are hard and often have unexpected consequences that can linger for years. You're telling me when my wife left me, she took an entire political faction with her. Those chess guys sure do love Roxy, don't they? Ugh! Yeah, the corruption human alliances have been causing us nothing but pain, to be entirely fucking honest. But no one wants to be against the Carpathians. They're harmless. The fact that they didn't even get to vote on whether or not they should ratify the treaty really complicates the matter. The whole thing is a disaster on just about every level. Oh, sorry about that. Oh my god, John, stop being so fucking pathetic for just a minute. Could you do that for me? I don't know. That's a pretty big favor you're asking me there, Karkat. Look, I don't personally blame you for any of it. First of all, for you to have anything to do with a massive shift in geographical alliances, that
Geopolitical.
probably would have geopolitical. Sorry, that probably would have required you to leave your fucking house for more than an hour. Wow, good pep talk. I'm 100% over my separation now. Thanks, Carl. John, seriously though, you do have to get over Roxy's eventually. With everything that's going on, can you really afford to waste another 5 years malingering in your bedroom like a piece of fucking garbage? You know, the rebellion could really use a guy like you. If you think I haven't been given the exact speech you're about to give to me, except about 6 or 7 times the length, then you don't know who rolls the line. Okay, then what's the fucking problem? You hate what the government is doing as much as the rest of us do.
John turns around so that he can rest his elbows on a banister. The angle of the moon is cutting a sharp stroke of light over the water, like a blade descending from the night sky to shear the harbour in half. He takes a despondent sip of his champagne and sighs.
I don't know. It doesn't seem responsible, really, to dedicate my life to something so important when I'm in a place where I can't even find the energy to think that getting out of bed in the morning is important. Fucking selfish thing to do. What if I get distracted because I'm sad? What if I fuck up by staring too tragically into the distance? Or an important mission and I get killed in a stupid way? John, technically immortal, specifically in cases of getting killed in a stupid way. Yeah, but you aren't, and neither are most of your followers.
Karkak's expression turns hard, regretful. It's a frown made of granite or some other manly kind of rock that chips easily when dropped. His one eye is glinting bright gold, reflecting the light from the party. He opens his mouth to say something, but it's distracted by movement from inside the ballroom.
Oh shit, here comes Dave. I have to get the fuck out of here.
He fumbles with something at his wrist, and out pops a grappling line. With unexpected smoothness, he hitches it over the edge of the balcony, leaps the railing in a single elegant bound. John watches him rattle down the cliffside until he disappears behind the precipice shadows. Wow, Karkak grew out to be kind of cool. Who would have guessed? No, John, don't do it. John spins on his heel to see Dave in the doorway, holding a bottle of champagne. He looks smart in his three-piece tux, but he's still sporting the same old Stiller shades, which always serve to remind John how hard it is to believe this guy's almost 40. Jesus Christ, are they seriously almost 40? Yes, they're technically immortal. That doesn't mean the encroaching milestone isn't making him feel dizzy nonetheless.
Huh? Don't do what?
Oh, you look pretty bummed when you left the reception, and then I find you staring at the ocean like you just snorted 6 lines of powdered midlife crisis off the bathroom counter. So I guess the joke was like, haha, don't literally commit suicide on my wedding, dude, lol. Not to commit suicide on my fucking wedding is pretty obvious, but in retrospect, I guess it's not that funny. But seriously, John, don't kill yourself.
I wasn't going to kill myself.
I'd miss you, and also was a bum out Jay pretty bad, and I've so thoroughly hitched my stars to that Yip train in case you hadn't noticed.
Yif train?
Yeah, man, you see, she.
Oh, no. Anyway, that was just,
John decides it's probably better not to mention what he was actually doing, and definitely not to mention who just repelled off the boundary with alarming stealth and grace.
appreciating how pretty the view is.
Yeah, I love the size of the military-industrial complex destroying the landscape in the evening.
Ah, come on. That's obviously not what I meant.
Dave comes to join John at the banister, gazing out over the water with a look that is at least as existential as John's. John isn't sure what to say about that, so he wiggles his empty glass, looking for another shot of sparkling social lubricant. Dave Thompson's off before taking a long swig of the bottle himself.
You okay, dude? Having been married once before, I gotta say, all kind of overwhelming, huh?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Jade and I have been together for so long, it all feels like. Dave shrugs. Whatever. I was sort of hoping that, considering that we're working together in Rebellion and everything, I was hoping that Karkat would show.
Oh,
John looks down and twirls the stem of his glass between 2 fingers.
so you're still not, over that? The whole Karkat thing?
Will I ever be over it? The way I felt about him probably isn't the kind of shit you just get over. You just sort of live with it, no matter how it turns out. But he's with Mina and I'm with Jade, and the whole world's gone fucking batshit, so what's the point of looking backwards now, right? John swallows a lump down his throat. Terezi's picture is still in his wallet, faded, dog-eared, marred by ragged white lines down the centre of him being folded and unfolded so many times, to even have to be called valleys at this point.
Alright.
Right. They fall silent for a moment, soaking up the atmosphere, sipping their booze, contemplating the suckiness of being an adult. Dave lets out a soft laugh and slaps John on the back. John swallows his champagne wrong and starts coughing. Yo, dude, thanks for being my best man.
Thanks, man, no problem.
Because you are, you know, you're my best bro, my main man, my most devoted dude. Cheers, John.
Cheers, Dave.
They toast, lift the glass and rim in the bottle. The sound rings out above the noise of the party inside. It rises up above the ocean to where the stars are turning and dawn is already breaking on some other part of the planet. That's how the years pass, faster and faster the longer it goes. For those living on this iteration of Earthsea, like John and Dave, it appears to be an illusion of age, an old adage about perception changing the older you get. The days get shorter the more the regrets pile up. But that's only part of it. Above this earth, the dead cherub is still meditating, waiting for the day when she can have her own heroic apotheosis, waiting for the day when she can confront the one she calls the prince. And on this earth, John is just waiting for the day that feeling finally stops, the feeling that he's still waiting for something. And the even worse feeling that years ago he missed his only chance to put an end to it. If you stand on a very high hill at dawn, you can watch your shadow move and then arc around you. 10 years to the day he last spoke with Terezi, John finally gets rid of her photograph. He stands at the top of a very high hill, rips it into 6 pieces and lets the wind carry it away. What else happens now, it doesn't matter.